2021 has been an amazing year for The Way Forward, and we have had many guests, many great names of the society with us on The Way Forward Talks. Today, we'll be presenting to you a small glimpse of all these talks, which are already in our YouTube channel. Please find the link below to visit our YouTube channel and go through the complete talks. So, with the current scenario and work life balance, it's very important to handle work and life in a better way. So, here are a few tips of our renowned guests and their thoughts about work life balance. So, see you out in the beautiful 2022. Wishing everyone out there a wonderful year ahead. Let's make history. Let's make this year count.
Amrita, it's all about priorities. You know, the great Lord, in all his wisdom, gave us 24 hours in a day. And I think you need to prioritize your life in such a way that, have time for 24 hours is a lot of time. And if you just prioritized and gave equal at, we also say live in the moment. So when I am with my child, when he was small, I was with my child, I gave my 100%. I mean, no parent can, of course, very honestly say that they gave 100% to the child, because every parent feels I could have done more. Every parent. But at that point in time, I felt that I was giving my best to him. But then when I was inside a classroom, I forgot everything of that. And I was with these 25 children whose responsibility was given to them by their parents to me. They were my responsibility. So be in the moment. I was in the moment with them.
Amazing.
And then when I came back home, I had a house to run. I gave myself completely to that. And as I said, 24 hours is a lot of time. So much time.
Yeah, what happens is for a woman and in a family life, it always is the work-life balance. So how do you prioritize your timing? So I would say that first thing is you prioritize what you want to have at that phase of your life, and then slowly things will ease up for you when you have that thought in your mind, because you try to plan yourself, you try to strategize your work. You accordingly make sure your surroundings are more comfortable for you to help you channelize your dreams. So what I first thought is that how do I, there are so many things, because when I was in my prime age, have being married and having kids, like how do I manage? And also I had that interest that no, I want to grow up in my career as well. I don't want to lose it. So family definitely supported a lot. I had a good husband who supported me all through my life, and that was on the personal side. But when it comes to your work ethics, what I would see is that in being in a fast-paced construction industry, and in the sense in the fast-paced construction projects which I was into, I had to learn a lot while working in the projects, because just being an electrical engineer doesn't give you any added advantage. So I had to learn about mechanical systems. I had to learn about the civil part of it. I had to learn the structural and also had to learn about the many systems which makes part of a whole building. We call it as building services. So learning these things while you work helps a lot to overcome your hurdles. And also the best way is like you communicate, you explore yourself, learning many things, you keep your mind open. That really helps a lot in easing up your hurdles in life. And you can overcome any challenges for that. Don't be shy. Feel free to go and ask for help. Yeah, and don't think that, oh, how would that person grade me? And how would the person take me or judge me for that matter? I would say that just come out of yourself, your comfort zones, and explore yourself, and take help whenever you think you need to channel yourself further. So that really helps a lot in your career growth and also in your work.
Okay, I know the word superwoman had, at least when I was finding my way, in that, in my 30, when I started off, that whole concept was about being a superwoman. And, but I think I want you guys to understand, it took me a long time to recognize the fact that please don't try to be a superwoman. There are many tricks to it. One, I think for me, the biggest learning of my own personality and how I was able to manage was trying not to be perfect. Okay, don't try to be perfect, because there is no such thing as perfection. You just need to, because we are talking about many, many years of life. A lifetime is many years, and many years is many days, and many days is many hours and many minutes. So you want to look at it from that perspective, from the long term. So I used to be so engrossed in being perfect. Like, I explicitly remember an incident where, and I think that was my aha moment too. I think you're taking it too far. I remember nobody was at home. The kids had gone to school, the husband's gone to work, and I was the last one to leave my home. I remember closing the door, and I just looked into the hall and I saw the mat, there was a floor mat. Mm-hmm. It wasn't aligned properly. Okay. I literally went back, put it back in its place, and then left. And I was like, don't fret. And it took me that moment. And I was like, oh my God, that is crazy what you did just now. Who would notice that? Would you remember? So my takeaway from that, and from, I think I kind of changed after that. And of course, a lot of reading, a lot of reaching out to, reading books, reading how other people have managed. I think that's also helped to open up a bit, because my thing to all of you listening this would be, don't fret the small things. And I think the biggest takeaway which helped change my mentality towards, and it's also a part of being it's also self-love. Because when you're too hard pressed to do those kind of things, where you're looking at perfection to that core, you're also going away from self-love. You're putting too much of pressure on yourself. And that sort of takes a toll, because I remember many of those years, I would end up with, naughty back. Like, the back would be really tight, stiff. It took me a while to understand this is all stressors. And all of these stressors are coming from these little, fretting over the small things. I remember calling up my kids, because they would reach home before we would reach home. And I would at least make 4 or 5 calls from office to check on them if they had had their lunch. And then it hit me. I am only doing so much sitting in another place. I'm not in the moment with them in the house. And how many ever calls I made, I would come home in the evening to find the lunch Some days not touched. Some days they may have eaten it, but on the phone they say, yeah, we're going to eat it. So for me, I had to take, because those are things which I can't really control. And I was sitting somewhere and trying to control it and worrying about it. I think that's what, when we talk about being mindful, I know there's a lot of conversation about mindfulness nowadays, but let me tell you, this is what mindfulness is all about. Taking a step back and seeing what you can do. If I'm sitting in my office, which is a 40-minute drive from my home, what was the point in me stressing out about what my kids would have? My job would have been to make sure the food is available at home. It's, kept in an easily accessible place for them, and maybe give them one call to make sure, they're given a gentle nudge, and that's it. There's no need to fret about it throughout. So you're not really fully at work because half your at home. And I think that is something which I learned the hard way. So don't fret the small things. And also before you hyperventilate about anything, ask yourself this question: is this something I'm going to remember 5 years from now? 90% of the time, your answer will be no. And I think as moms, we've been tuned from the very beginning to be perfect at everything, perfectly, fed children, perfectly balanced meals, manicured, pedicured. There's a lot of little things, and these thousands of these things just works on you. I think asking these two questions, sort of thinking over these two things would really change the whole dynamics.
True. Wonderful.
So I think balancing act is all about just taking a step back and not trying to be perfect.
So while I was with the corporate, my work-life balance was a mess. Okay, with a lot of responsibilities in a particular thing, and so it was never scheduled. It was never oriented. I would have calls early in the morning. I would have calls late in the night and everything. So it was completely a mess, and that also was another factor that actually led me out of the corporate, where I felt that there are a lot that is happening which is not conscious. Like, you're just going by the grind. You just going with the flow and not really knowing what you're doing or why you're doing, or what is it bringing to you. And yeah, of course, for the when we are working in a corporate, we know what is it, what are the goals, what are the things that we're doing. But when you come back home and you sit, you're like, okay, what's happening? Okay, so that's when this thing came up. And so now that I am in a space where I can create my own flexi time and everything, so very consciously I make a decision that, okay, Monday to Saturday I'm available for my clients and I'm available for everything, and Sunday is one day that I'm going to be completely taking my break and taking that me time and everything. And even back when I was in working in corporates, yes, Sunday was a holiday, but it was not a holiday per se, because you still have a couple of backlogs, you still have your colleagues calling in, and a lot of things like that. But one thing that I followed back then and even now is to honor my me time. It could be any time that you fix for you in a day, but having a me time for yourself is very crucial, because that is when you will be connecting with you and you would be, in sync with what you want, or at least do something. And when I say me time, it need not have to be like a 1 hour or a 2 hour or a big thing that you need to take it off in your calendar or something like that. You just probably have to have at least that 15 minutes of time or half an hour of your, 24 hours of time, and just spend that with yourself and things which you like to do. So what I would do back then was, I love cooking. So while cooking, I used to play my music. And so that was something that I would really enjoy. And apart from that, I used to just, I love traveling. So I like going on my bikes. So I just take my bike even though it's not anything to buy or anything to go specifically. I just take my bike out and just go around for a round. At least not in the traffic time, because that's not going to help me in any ways. But say take some time out, and it's not always the same. Okay, it changes, so it can change for anyone. So this is one tip that I would really want everyone, irrespective of women or man, any individual should have a scheduled me time for themselves, and it is something that is going to give them their own space and their own it's a sense of peace.
This is perhaps very important for all the working ladies, I will say, and work from home has taught even men also to have work-life balance. First time we are talking about this term for men also, and I'm glad for that, because I am really favoring gender equality in all the ways. So this notion I always was career-centric and career-oriented. So I always wanted a person, I had patience for that the man whom I marry, he also favors in terms of working professional, because those men are much broad-minded. We have men who take, okay, fine, you have some time, go and work. No, that's not the attitude. So career demands much more than just going out for some time. That's why many of our ladies can become just a school teacher. Why? Because they have some surplus time. And unfortunately, those ladies are teaching the future workforce, which they'll be handing over to higher education institutions. So if they are not very serious for their career, they will not be very serious for the work what they do. So it's a national loss to me. I am not at all in any governance, but still, as a citizen of the nation, I have always felt, let right people come in the right job. Yes, diversity will have a challenge. So with that same notion, I was very careful for myself. And I'm glad my husband Suresh is very cooperative, not now, of 2 decades of togetherness, but before we got married, he was very, very serious that yes, because working lady, he felt always will be much more broad-minded. And even as small as he will be less complaining. When we are very self-focused, we are more complaining. So working abilities enhance our perspective also. So when 2 like-minded people join, the child or the children, we have child taking care of the nation, only one child. So we made it ensure that our daughter is also absorbent, collaborative, and broad-minded. So the 2 became 1 + 1 became 3, 2, then the third also have the same thing. So work-life balance was not very difficult for me, certainly with some certain external support system, especially when I had long working hours. Unlike people may think a teacher means 9 to 5, half day, or maybe 6-7 hours, but my work was sometimes for 10 hours, 11 hours, just like as a corporate person, 12 hours. So with that, it was including travel time, 12 to 13 hours. So that was family really supported a lot. This was, I'll just exemplify with that because you mentioned a work-life balance. My husband has been always supporting in kitchen in terms of assistant, you can understand all those jobs, but he was not into mainstream cooking. He felt no, he cannot enjoy, neither he liked it. But as we moved together, he started doing that. So sometimes in some sessions, I have myself told that it took 17 years for me to have patience. And from last few years, he's doing, so it took 15, 16, 17 like that, where he really came into using LPG for his cooking or microwave for the cooking purpose. That took, but finally it happened. So many ladies do complain, no, there's no support. I always say it takes time to build support. It's not about a year or 2 and we start concluding. So I have a wonderful example in my own home. Work-life balance is once we respect each other in terms of work also, not only expecting that my wife is just doing some work and let her earn some money. No, that is not being equal. I can show you by hand. So when we take equality, it also talks about helping each other in all the ways, emotional front, issues with health. And certainly work-life balance also comes when, actually I'm proud to say I have hardly taken medical leaves or casual leaves in my work about 2 decades. Because when you are happy and contented here, you tend to be better in health also. And being from the area of food and biotech, immunity, or today immunity word is so common. A few years, before pandemic, people were not comfortable with this word. What is immunity? But the immunity power of the body is really directly proportional to the mental strength. Although we may eat best of the food, still we cannot be ensuring that we will not be in terms of going wonderful health until we are actually taking care of mental, now social, digital, and spiritual health also. Now it's a total bundle of dimensions that has been. Yeah.
Amazing.
I would say I had a very perfect work-life balance. I proved it by making my 2 daughters reach the national level. My elder daughter, Ramya, reached the national level in oratorical competition, and she happened to participate in the national level oratorical competition in Jamshedpur. And she was also given a chance to speak in front of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the former president of India. So that was a very rare chance that was given to a student, and I was very proud because the next day it came out in the Hindu paper. The article came out as Hindu paper that the president was amazed at a student asking a question about brain drain. And my younger daughter, Saundarya, I happened to make her develop her creativity skill in writing, and she reached the national level, and she was given Balashri Award, a cash prize of 10,000 rupees from New Delhi, Bal Bhavan. So I felt that these two incidents of making my children reach the national level was possible, and it was achieved by them only because I happened to be a teacher in a very good reputed school where I came across many children having multi-talented skills. When I used to see many children participating in various competitions, then I slowly started making these qualities to be imbibed in my own children. After teaching in the SBOA school, I used to come back home and I used to make them practice these two skills. But finally, both of them reached the national level. So I was extremely happy. And because of which, the Coimbatore city gave me Proud Mother Award.
Very
Yeah,
difficult, very
this
difficult.
is a tough question. Yes, being a working parent is, you can say it's challenging. I mean, there had been tough times when you feel like, okay, you are leaving your life behind. It happened when after my daughter was of 8 months old or so, and then I had joined Campus Back. So sometimes I used to bring her with me, but that was not possible throughout. So we need to leave her at home with the nanny. And frankly speaking, it was killing myself when I used to leave my daughter home and then leaving for the institute. But yes, there were bigger responsibilities on both the sides. We could manage it, thinking, okay, it was a double responsibility. And yes, at times we used to stay back for long in the institute, but again, half your mind used to be at home. But still, we could overcome it with the support from the family. He used to support me in both ways. After coming back, from the institute, definitely we used to work on, okay, how to make it, give good amount of time to the child also and to the family. So yes, it has been challenging, but we could have done it. We have done it very well with the support, family support, and definitely institute also used to be supportive at times, keeping in mind we have a small child at home. He will add more on to.
I will simply advise any mother not to work for at least 2 to 3 years till child grows. It's my personal experience, but like us, the priorities are different. The job is on priority. So, and she rightly pointed out, you have to leave your life behind. So, but it was a very painful experience, journey through that phase
earlier times, but we could do it together. That's what we can say. Right. And I think these times it has been the online work from home kind of a thing. It has made life a little easier, to see and do the parenting as well as work.
I'll give you one example. You can realize in that situation how you are going to handle. My daughter was 8 months old, and we had a nanny actually from last 7-8 months. Suddenly something happened and nanny left. We both are working, and we have a baby of 8 months old. Now imagine we both has to go to the institute, take the classes with 8 months old baby, and no one is in the house. You can imagine the situation now.
Very difficult. I mean, I salute you both for going through that situation. That's amazing.
We managed,
But
managed for 10 days, 2 weeks. We managed like that. We used to take baby in the institute. When she had a class, I used to take. When I had the class, she used to take. And you to feed the baby, change the diapers. All this process keep on going. so it's a very, very painful experience to leave your daughter. She's looking at you, she's crying for you, and you're leaving and going.
Another challenging experience was that I was teaching a course which I had never taught throughout my life, So it used to, as I said, I need to prepare myself well before standing in front of the students. And yes, there was a master's class also, which I used to take up, that the classes used to start from 7 to 10. I will leave the house in the morning at 6:30 and then come back home at around 11 o'clock. There had been those times, he used to come back home and then, at times take the child along and then to go and pick me up. So I used to see her, after, some 10 to 12 or more hours, you can say. So situations were there, but yes, we did it together. That is another thing you can say. And now looking at the same situation, what we have done, the previous director was kind enough, and we have made a playroom, a big room, which is looking at that, I think the experience, our own experience. We had new professors who have small children. So there is a big playroom now. So that has all the facilities, the toys and a big TV. And then we have other additional preparatory room. So you can take your child now and keep the child over there, and the nanny also you can take along. So it's much easier now. It's much easier. So there are 3-4 children that can play together. So I think life, we learn from our experiences, what we have experienced. I think the faculty members now, they are happy now, at least that room is there. They can go and see the child in between and the child is happy.
Amazing.
The work-life balance is very important, particularly for married persons, because they have a lot of family commitments. At the same time, they also have to deliver maybe their work to the organizations where they are working. So there has to be a lot of understanding between the couples. So there has to be a lot of understanding, and when there is work, they have to work, and when there is no work, they have to play. So it's like learn while you learn and play while you play. It is something like this. So it's not only work, because all work and no play will make Jack a dull boy. So as a saying goes like this, so we need to be very careful about 4 things. One is physical wellness. Today, wellness is all we have got. From 4, it went to 6, 7 areas. So one is the physical well-being, and everyone in the family should be always careful or conscious about health in terms of food, exercise, rest, diet, and all the things. So, and then mental well-being. So are they spending enough time to update themselves, whether they read whatever they wanted to read, and then whatever they wanted to learn. So that is very important. After that, emotional well-being is very important, and they cannot ignore, because they should spend quality time with the family members or friends, and people who today everyone is expected to have emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. So we need to have this emotional intelligence. For that, we need to speak as and when we get time. We need to make make a point to have a cup of tea with friends and relatives, and we need to share. We need to, without ego, with a lot of friendship, with open-mindedness. We need to share, we need to care, we need to love, we need to be affectionate, we need to do as many things as possible. So the emotional well-being is important. And after that, spiritual how connected are you with the maybe the whatever God you pray, how connected it would increase your inner peace of mind. So exercise is for your physical wellness, but spirituality is for your inner well-being. So I would say these are the 4 areas we need to have to live a balanced life. So it's all about the caring and sharing the aspect. These 2 aspects are very important, and beyond that, learning and physical wellness, and after that, spiritual wellness. All these things are important, and if someone could balance this, I'm sure they will lead a happy life. People in India, in the happiness index, India ranks well below many countries. So we need to remain happy because if you ask people, say you want happiness or money, they will say money, but they have to understand without happiness, money is nothing. So people have to understand the importance of happiness, how they get happiness. Maybe when they when they are with the loved ones, definitely they will be happy. So I would suggest they will have to find time. Busy man finds time for everything. So they can, if they are willing, definitely they can.
TWF is very happy and thankful to all the great people who have been on the Way Forward Talks. Keep watching YouTube channel of TWF for further more interesting interviews. We are starting with an amazing youth interview set in the next coming year. So watch out for it and see you guys in 2022. Happy New Year to everyone.